So tell me about Hipmunk then.
Taking the agony out of travel search. Adam had been a friend of ours for a long time, hardcore travel nerd. We'd actually tried to get him to work at Reddit, failed because he wanted to get his degree at MIT. I was like, dude, it'd be so much cooler if you could say MIT dropout. But no, got his degree. I think he got 2 degrees when he was there. And then wanted to solve his own problem doing flight search because it was so broken and because every site just didn't give a damn about its users and actually was incentivized, how's this for screwed up incentives, was incentivized to keep you on the site longer with bad results because it meant they could show you more ads. We only make our money from the referral. So it's nice. We actually have a business model from day zero.
Doesn't Kayak make most of their money from clicks and not from...
Mostly from ads.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I'm not Paul English, but based on all the access we've gotten to publicly available data. Yeah.
Interesting. So you only make money on the click, so your incentive is to get them off as quickly as possible.
It's actually the exact opposite of Reddit. Instead of wanting to keep you on.
Well, it's the same as Google. They want to get you off, and you click on an ad, they make money, right? So, and so like you sort by, I've used it. You sort by agony.
Yes.
Like, so what is that? Why don't you describe that?
Yes. Okay. So. And this was actually pretty special. Steve and Adam were going back and forth on the name. It was originally going to be called Suckage, but then it was clear that probably wouldn't fly everywhere.
Yeah.
So instead, sort by agony. It is totally worth an extra $20 to avoid a 3-hour layover in Chicago, right? But every other site sorts by price, and so every other site puts that flight with the long layover above the one without it. And that's just not the way people are actually programmed to choose their flights. And so we thought, well, it makes more sense to sort by agony, which takes into consideration a variety of other factors too. And
so you have some secret agony algorithm or something,
yes.
Some formula that makes a trade-off between price and waiting and
all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, actually we were very, very selective in terms of who we wanted to bring on the team first. And Steve, after having gone through Reddit, for most of Reddit with Chris Lowe, who's our every startup needs a nuclear physicist. He's our startup's nuclear physicist. Basically the smartest guy in the room, and so he's the one who basically helped make Reddit do all of its clever stuff, and he's now helping us make Hipmunk, help you find the least agonizing flight possible.
And you just did hotels too, right?
Yes, and those are sorted by ecstasy, not what you're thinking, but basically like maximum joy per dollar. We want you take into consideration the hotel's amenities, its location, its ranking, its ratings, and then factor that as a matter of price and find out what's really the most efficient way to spend your money.
And so travel's a really competitive space, right? So how are you guys, you have a cool product, but beyond that, sort of how are you, it's also like
a mascot.
It's also like it's not just competitive, it's sort of mature, I guess, or something like online travel. These people are all, TripAdvisor's embedded in SEO. It's very hard to break into SEO. It's very, all of the paid channels are really expensive. So, how do you overcome that?
Here's what's wild. A majority of our traffic is direct, or it's someone Googling Hipmunk or Chipmunk travel search or something.
Yeah, right? So they're actually just directly
come directly to Hipmunk. And that's great because we don't ever want to have to become too reliant on search and all that other stuff. And instead, dude, it's shocking. In 10 months since we launched Hipmunk, I have seen more positive feedback, more fan art, more I love this sites than I saw in the first 2 years of Reddit. And that's definitely a timing thing because there are far more people online, far more savvier people online. And it's a kind of product that sort of gives users a eureka moment the first time they use it because they think, aha, this is the way it always should have been. And man, I don't know what it is, but the user experience, making that paramount, and whether that's making a really good, really helpful user interface, or whether that's just we've got fabulous customer service, like we want you to love travel search. That combination, that marriage, and then throw a cute chipmunk on it, has just been doing really, really well in terms of getting people interested in both what we're doing and then spreading the word. Because dude, the whole, I have a very conflicted relationship with marketing because marketing is what basically made the bottled water industry, which is absurd. Yeah. We're taking perfectly good tap. In a lot of cases, we're actually taking runoff soda water.
The Dasani or whatever.
Right.
It's
just Coke water. It's tap water.
Yeah.
Put it in a bottle, and all of a sudden is a multi-million-dollar industry. Now, marketing created that, and that depresses me, but it also gives me a lot of hope because if you can make bottled tap water such a valuable industry, there are probably a lot of other more worthwhile things that you can convince people.
So I personally think there's people, marketing has a bad name in some circles because of the bottled water type thing. But on the other hand, that's sort of where you sort of create artificial desires or something. Yes. I think of a lot of good technology marketing is not creating artificial desires. It's just simply going out and explaining what your product is in a clear way and getting it out there, right? Like, so why do people want to use because a lot of these things they're like why would I want to use Twitter? You know, like when you first come to the website, you may have no idea. And so good marketing is going out and explaining the utility to people that don't otherwise get it. And I think that is like an educational function.
Dude, I should start using this, because normally when I'm speaking to marketing executives, it usually comes back to, if you guys would take your budgets, cut them in half, and then take that money and put it into making a better product or service, you'd probably be doing more for your company than another campaign. But yeah, no, you're right. Education has a lot to do with it, and it's difficult, because sometimes you think, all right, we've got so much data. There's so much beautiful data to pour through and pour over and enjoy. But I feel like so many of our conversions still happen through word of mouth, because someone in the office is using the wrong travel search, and their buddy's like, dude, no. Because we hear these stories all the time, and whether it's, you know, going home for the holidays and convincing your parents that this is the thing you've got to use. That, I mean, word of mouth, it's cliche. I mean, it is the great strategy. And yes, there are lots of wonderful online ways to reproduce that, but we've got so many evangelists out there who are just sort of bugging their friends and family to use it.